That's right, Spidey Squad, I'm back. But regardless, welcome back, true believers and all you spectacular Spidey fans out there, to another very exciting Marvel Games related video. And boy, have I missed saying that. Now, in case you haven't seen any of my recent posts on social media, or even seen my latest community posts here on my YouTube channel, you would know that I've been insanely busy with all the work that I've currently been doing within the Disney College program. And while I've unfortunately not been able to upload any new major content on the channel for over a full month at this point, I still continue to remain beyond grateful for every single one of your continuous support. And hopefully, this will merely be the start of many more videos to come. Because the news we have to talk about today is pretty much what we've all been waiting for. Especially for all you die-hard symbiote fans out there. So if you're someone like me who's beyond hyped to see the future of Marvel Games in its entirety, then definitely be sure to thwip that like button and subscribe to the channel for even more Marvel Games videos like this down the line. So while there's certainly been no recent shortage of other exciting AAA Marvel games, with the likes of Marvel Cosmic Invasion releasing later this year, as well as other big games that will be releasing later sometime next year, with that of Marvel's Deadpool VR and Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, a lot of us gamers are still left wondering as to what exactly the current status is in regards to the much more heavy-hitting blockbuster level AAA titles. And of course, in this case, we're primarily talking about Insomniac Games, who is currently working full steam ahead on their next major AAA Marvel game release, with that of Marvel's Wolverine. Or at least, that's what we all thought was going down. Because as this news was reported by various gaming outlets, is that an individual developer currently working at Insomniac Games fully revealed that the studio currently has more than just Wolverine in the works. And more specifically is that the news that Insomniac Games was working on multiple games outside of Marvel's Wolverine was shared by a developer on LinkedIn. The dev, whose name we'll leave out to protect their identity, which I will also do the same as well, is a senior character and concept artist who mentions their projects as Marvel's Wolverine and 2 unannounced games. This developer also worked on Marvel's Spider-Man 2 as a character and concept artist. The studio, which employs around 520 people, which is 2 or 3 times the size of most other AAA developers, has worked on 3 games simultaneously in the past, which, to remind all of you, did include Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered for the PlayStation 5, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, and Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. So this isn't as unlikely as it sounds. In fact, former project director Aaron Eberhardt, who left the studio in September 2023, did officially confirm in July of that same year that an unannounced game was in development at the studio, along with Spider-Man 2 and Wolverine. Now, at face value, this may not seem like that big of news, considering that Insomniac Games absolutely has their hands full currently working on not just Marvel's Wolverine, but is also more than likely beginning their early production phases of what is supposedly going to be the finale of the critically acclaimed Marvel Spider-Man franchise with the one and only Marvel's Spider-Man 3. So Insomniac currently working on multiple AAA games at the same time isn't that out of the ordinary. But the most interesting thing to take away from all this news is that alongside Marvel's Wolverine and the more than likely Marvel's Spider-Man 3, Insomniac Games is supposedly working on a third massive AAA game. And despite all the massive Marvel games that Insomniac currently is working on, there have been people online who've been speculating that this third unannounced game could be another installment within one of the other franchises that Insomniac currently owns, possibly with the likes of Ratchet & Clank.
You serious?
Yeah, I don't think so. Trust me, I am a die-hard Ratchet & Clank fan, and I personally believe that Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart is one of the best PS5 exclusives to release on the platform. But given all of this momentum that Insomniac currently has with the Marvel IP, as well as how financially profitable all their Marvel games have been up to this point, there is no way that this third unannounced game that Insomniac is currently working on is not a Marvel title. And if you all know me by now, you already know what I think that this game is going to be. Without a doubt, I fully believe that this third unannounced Insomniac game is finally going to be the AAA standalone Venom game that we've all been waiting for. The biggest indicator being that Venom was already a fully playable character in Marvel's Spider-Man 2. So not being able to completely expand on his already existing moveset, as well as give Venom his own individual storyline within the Marvel Spider-Man universe, would, in my honest opinion, be an absolute massive missed opportunity. But more importantly is the obvious statement that we received from the narrative director of Marvel Spider-Man 2 himself, of John Paquette, stating back when Marvel Spider-Man 2 initially released in 2023, is that we're going to listen to the fans and see what they want if we end up making a potential Venom spin-off game. Which, at this point, the answer to that question is a resounding yes. Especially if we end up having to fight Cletus Cassidy, also better known as Carnage, as the game's final boss. That would just be pure poetry. I know a lot of you might be asking the question, is what exactly does this mean for the release schedule of Marvel's Wolverine? And that, my friends, is where things start to get really interesting. If you've been keeping fully up to date with all the latest posts from Insomniac Games themselves, they did actually post something rather interesting back in May, where they stated, "Welcome PlayStation interns. Insomniac and Sony Interactive Entertainment are delighted to host a new generation of innovators this summer, who will cut their claws around our studio working on exciting things like Marvel's Wolverine. To our interns, let's push the boundaries of play together." Now that's a pretty exciting post in and of itself, simply knowing that there are going to be brand new interns within the gaming industry working at Insomniac Games. But what's more intriguing is that they specifically highlighted that these interns will be directly working on Marvel's Wolverine, which in my honest opinion tells me that while the development of Marvel's Wolverine is going smoothly, I still think that means they do have quite a ways to go until the game launches. Where I personally thought that Marvel's Wolverine releasing sometime next year in 2026 made the most sense. But if anything, this post implies that Wolverine might be actually releasing sometime after the year of 2026 as a whole. And as it was reported by Game Rant, with some supposed inside information speculating as to the current release schedule of all the upcoming AAA Insomniac Marvel games, they go on to highlight that the rumored standalone Venom game is actually going to be releasing before Marvel's Wolverine within next year of 2026, followed by Marvel's Wolverine launching sometime in 2027, and last but not least, with the finale of their Spider-Man franchise, with Marvel's Spider-Man 3 possibly launching in 2029, which at that point may end up being a cross-gen title on both the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 6, which, coming from me personally, I think makes a whole lot of sense. The Venom game, which is also rumored to be slightly bigger than Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, but smaller than Marvel's Spider-Man 2, would take less time for Insomniac Games to develop. But in the case of Wolverine, especially given the terrible hacking situation that Insomniac Games experienced, they may want to give Logan even more development time, so that way the game will fully live up to every single die-hard Wolverine fan's expectations. But if all of this news is to say that not only does this rumored Venom game exist, but it could very well end up releasing as early as next year, then I for one couldn't be happier. In the end, everybody, Insomniac Games is absolutely cooking. And while I'm still extremely excited for Marvel's Wolverine and the inevitable Marvel's Spider-Man 3, I am going to absolutely lose my mind the day that Insomniac officially confirms that they're making a Venom game. But still, only time will tell. And with all that said, everybody, that's the video I have for all you today, and please let me know all your thoughts in the comment section down below. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely do you think think it is that Insomniac is also currently working on a Marvel's Venom game? And if they are, what would you want to see from it? Let me know what you think, be sure to leave a like on the video, and subscribe to the channel if you did enjoy, and for more Marvel Games videos like this in the future. Thank you all so much for watching, stay spectacular Spidey fans, and until next time, peace out.